if you've seen my video on how to play the minor pentatonic scale, you might think that intro sounded familiar, but also a little bit different. And if you haven't seen my video on how to play the minor pentatonic scale, I suggest you go and have a wee look at it. There's going to be a link appearing on screen just now. So the reason it sounded different is because instead of using the A minor pentatonic scale to solo over that track, I was using the A major pentatonic scale. And I think you might agree that it's got a familiar but slightly different sound to it. So what actually is the difference? Well, we know from my video on the minor pentatonic scale that an interval is just the distance between two different musical notes, and depending on how big that distance is, we'll use a different name, or a different interval. We also know that a scale is just a repetitive pattern of intervals, or you could also kind of think of it as being like a family of notes that sound good together. So the major pentatonic scale is basically just a 5-note scale, because again, pent meaning 5, but it has a different pattern of intervals from what the minor pentatonic scale does. Now, I need to apologise. I really hope you can forgive me, but I'm afraid we're going to have to go into a little bit of music theory just now. But before you immediately click off the video, I just want you to know that there's not going to be a lot of it, and it's not very complicated either. And even if you don't quite get your head round it, that's okay. The main thing really is that we can hear the difference between the minor and the major pentatonic scales. Because at the end of the day, music is all about listening, it's all about what we can hear. But if you do want to skip the theory part of the video, I'm going to put a timestamp on screen just now. If you skip ahead in the video to that point, that's when we're going to get right into the actual playing of the major pentatonic scale on the guitar, and you can just jump right into the practical side of things. Although I would encourage you to stick around for the theory bit of it anyway, because you can never learn too much about a subject. So I'm going to play both the A minor and the A major pentatonic scale for you, just so you can see what they both look like, and so you can also hear what they both sound like. So we'll start off with the A minor pentatonic scale, since that's the one you'll already be somewhat familiar with. So that sounds like this. And then if I was to play that same thing but an octave higher. So that contains the intervals of a root, then a minor third, a perfect fourth, a perfect fifth, and a minor seventh. You can hear how that gives it a really noticeable minor quality. By contrast, if I was to play the A major pentatonic scale, and again, if I played it an octave higher, and this scale contains the intervals of a root, a major second, a major third, a perfect fifth, and a major sixth. And then we go back to the root. And notice that this has a very noticeable major quality to it. It sounds much brighter and happier. Now, some of the more eagle-eyed viewers out there might recognise that as being position 2 that we covered in my minor pentatonic scale video, and that's because it is. That was position 2 of the F sharp minor pentatonic scale. The reason for that is because F sharp minor and A major are what we call relative major and minors to each other, which is just a kind of musical way of saying that there's a minor key and a major key which both contain the exact same notes as each other. But depending on what one of those notes you emphasise as being your root note, that'll create either a minor sound, hence the minor key, or it will give it more of a major happy sound, hence the major key. So I'll show you what I mean. First, I'm going to take a really quick solo, just vamping over an F sharp minor chord, and I'm going to really emphasise F sharp as being the root note. And then I'm going to take another quick solo, vamping over an A major chord, and I'm going to use the exact same notes, the exact same scales, the exact same finger patterns, but this time I'm going to really emphasise the note A, and you'll be able to hear how the exact same set of notes can sound completely different depending on what one you're emphasising as your root. So if we want to work out what keys are relative minor and majors to each other, there's a really easy way that we can do that using the guitar, so we don't have to think about things quite as much. All we have to do is count 3 frets. I'm sure most of you out there are able to count to 3. So if we take a minor key as an example to start off with, say we're in G minor, and we want to know what the relative major to G minor is. Well, to find the relative major, all we need to do is count up 3 frets. 1, 2, 3. And whatever that note is, that's what our relative major key is. So we've started off at G, gone up to G sharp, gone up to A, gone up to B flat. So B flat is the relative major to G minor. And if we go the other way, let's take a different key as an example. Let's say we're in C major. And we want to know what the relative minor to C major is. We just need to count back 3 frets. 1, 2, 3. And whatever note that is, that's our relative minor. So we started off at C, and went down to B, down to B flat, down to A. So the relative minor to C major would be A minor. So if we want to know how to play the major pentatonic scale, all we have to do is take the 5 shapes that we learned over when we were playing the minor pentatonic scale and just shift them all back 3 frets and finally change what note we're starting on as being our root note. So I'll show you now the 5 positions of the A major pentatonic scale. So to play position 1 of the A major pentatonic scale, we're going to put our pinky on our root note on the low E string. So that'll be our note A, found at the 5th fret on the low E string. And then we're just going to play through our usual position 1 of the pentatonic scale that we're already familiar with. To play position 2, the A major pentatonic scale, we're just going to put our second finger on that same root note, so that's the 5th fret on the low E string, and we're going to play position 2 of the pentatonic scale, which we're already familiar with. To play position 3 of the A major pentatonic scale, we're going to put our first finger on the root note on the D string, so that'll be the 7th fret on the D string with our first finger, and we're going to play our usual position 3. To play position 4 of the A major pentatonic scale, we're going to put our pinky on the root note on the A string, so that'll be the 12th fret on the A string with our pinky, and we're going to play our usual position 4. And to play position 5 of the A major pentatonic scale, we're going to put our second finger on that same root note on the A string, so that's the 12th fret, and then we're going to play our usual position 5. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you found something useful out of this video. If you did enjoy it, please remember to hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel. There's going to be great new videos coming out every week covering all sorts of different things relating to the guitar and other musical ideas. So keep an eye out for all of them. And until the next video, happy practicing.